Hi there, in this episode of Looking Back at the Future we are featuring a video from 2019. Back then, just as now, it was generally believed that RTS controls simply don't work with a joypad. Well, we did not agree with that at all, and since we wanted to release our strategy game Neopolis on consoles, we went to work and designed a control system from the ground up that we thought worked very well. Now, for various games industry typical reasons, the game was never released, but those design innovations are just as valid now as they were back then, so we decided to share them with other devs and indeed players or anybody else interested in this, hopefully to encourage people to re-evaluate the potential for RTS games on consoles. The following video was a presentation I did for a publisher all those years ago to prove that we had actually achieved what we set out to do, and that publisher co-funded the game, so the video was a success and hopefully you will enjoy it too. The mechanic or the user interface option I'm talking about is called the units Radial. The way it works is as follows. So in the game there are shortcuts to, for example, to different ways to select units. So I could click near a group to select that group. Now with this particular interface option, if you press square you pull up a radial just like you have building radials, and within that you can make sub-selections. So and within that sub-selection you can change the sorting order based on health or on the level that a unit has, and this can become really important, and it applies to any selection. So it could be everybody on the level or just a small group or people in a building. Here I have a building that's defending this patch of land, and I see somebody in there has a power-up. You need to be able to take that person out without giving up the entire defense of that building. So that's what we use the units radial for. I can deselect everybody, and only select the person that I want to select. By the way, in the meantime the game is paused, so it's not very stressful. So I confirm that sub-selection. And you can see in the sidebar now that only that person is selected. And if I now press leave building, only that person will leave. So there. So that gives me a lot of fine control. And the same thing goes within this group here. If I want to send everybody but that person somewhere, for example. See, there are a number of shortcuts, but basically there, everybody except that person is selected and I can send them over there. Now on a larger scale, this becomes really important when you want to move around units with different abilities. So for example, if I select everybody in the level, which I've done now, and then bring up the radial, you can see I can quickly choose who to select. Who to do a sub-selection on, and if I sort, for example, based on level, then the person with the lowest level are at the top and the ones with the highest level at the bottom. So in this case, for example, these two tones are mostly leveled up, so I'm not too interested in them, so I'm going to deselect them and select the coyotes. I don't need to level up right now, I've got other work for them, so I'll deselect them. And here we have a bunch of trainees. Now none of them have leveled up, and I need to level them up in order for them to join my crew. So this is a very useful sub-selection. Now I've got a building with only 6 spots available, so I'm going to deselect 2 of them. Now I've got 6 out of 8 trainees. I confirm, which is these guys here, and send them into this building, and there they go. And now everybody entering that building, which is a dojo, will level up. So it's very useful. Now the same thing goes for, let's say, I'm going to do a little trick. I'm going to select a bunch of these. I'm going to cheat and give them more experience than other units in that group. So now if I select everybody from this HQ, I can double click on the HQ. There we go.
I go into my units radial, and I change my sorting order. In fact, to sort by level, you will find here at the top level 1, and here level 4s. So I'm going to deselect all those, and now I only have selected, I'll confirm this, everybody of low level. Now I could make those guys do a mission that's pretty safe, or send them to a dojo to level up, or I could have done the opposite and sent the stronger crew, the stronger members, onto a dangerous mission. So in summary, the units radial lets you fine-tune your selections, create intelligent sub-selections, identify specific units, and identify units with pickups as well. And all that gives you a lot more control over how the game plays.
Thank you for watching this episode of Looking Back at the Future. I hope it was interesting. It's a huge subject, of course, and we did much more than just this radial menu design, this system. There are all kinds of other design innovations we've done, and we've written a blog post about it. Please have a look. Not only does it talk about the other systems that we've used, it also gives access to some of the underlying design documents, some extra videos. There's a lot of good content there. Thank you very much. Bye bye.